Jumbo. Hello, my name is David Gakure. Thank you for joining me for a virtual dose of vitamin Z brought to you by the Detroit Zoo. My name, as I said, David. We have two rhinos, white rhinos. And their names Jasili and Taba. But before we talk more about the two rhinos at the Detroit Zoo, I would like to take you all the way to Africa in an area that lies right on the equator, and that is in Kenya. That is the country we are talking about. And this in general is where you'll find most of the rhinos that are existing in the world, in mostly the white rhino and the black rhino. Now, the white rhino is very social, but the black rhino can be very temperamental. And I came to know about it, and I came to encounter this temperament when I stepped out of the Jeep when I was leading the safari. It was an early morning, what we called game drive, and I thought maybe we should go look for a rhino that we hear has been seen around this certain area. And what I did, I woke up my guest, not too early, it was about 6 o'clock, just before the sunrise, and we headed out. Now, reaching the area that someone had mentioned about a black rhino being seen, by good luck, or maybe by bad luck, I don't know either of the two, but I think it's good luck because it is the rhino that we want to see. And when I smelled out it, and I thought I picked a kind of smell. And this smell, that smelled strange. So I asked the driver, I told the driver, just stay in with the guests while I go investigate. And for sure, I went to investigate. And out there, I'm walking, and I saw some little bit of crew of some leaves or some of the bushes being trampled on. And when I looked a little bit further, there was a big dung, I would call it, a defecation of a rhino. Then I knew we are in the area where this rhino had been seen. And the next thing, so I walked around, zigzag, checking here, checking there, and there was, right in front of me, the rhino we have been looking for. It was a black rhino. As I said before, they are easily angered, they are temperamental, and so this rhino decided to find out what I was doing in her territory. When I say her, I came to realize it was a female. Now, the next thing, we are looking at each other, gazing at each other face to face, and I didn't know whether to tiptoe back or to run, or to just, stand there or lie down. That was my first time to encounter such an animal. So what I did was, I said, enough. He's a four-legged animal, I'm a two-legged animal. I better be out of my way before he starts. And I was off, and I was running zigzag just in case. And behind me, she was really coming fast. And she did not stop. She just kept on going. I did not even see if she avoided the termite mounds that were around there, but I did. Then finally, I jumped into the Jeep. The good thing is, the Jeep I'm talking about was open Jeep. Let me show you from my iPad here. So that is a Jeep I'm talking about. in actual fact, that is the female rhino, the one that the big one leading is the mother, and she is the one that did come after me, and she happened to be at that moment with that sharp horn. I was not one to wait for her, so I jumped right where you see the driver is, and what happened is that surprisingly, the driver who was sitting there laughing with the other guests that I'm running happened to be he happened to be my pillow. When I jumped in, I did not sit on my seat. I jumped right on the other side. I sat on his lap. The idea being, I did not trust that the rhino coming that fast and that horn. And this is an open Jeep. So as soon as she got close to the Jeep, she just stopped. She didn't know what, it's kind of like, where is the one who was running? This Jeep, maybe to her, looked like a big bush. I don't know. But then she just stood, she just turned back quickly, and for about 50 yards away, she looked back, turned and looked back to wonder what is going on. What was this? That was, what had happened? And what he did, we did was, besides taking all these pictures, and a lot of other people came in. They were so excited that the rhino had been seen, and she, from that moment, became a little bit more angry with anyone who was around there. And but she kept on charging this Jeep, that Jeep, even far out there. So we had to move away. But all in all, it was one of my first encounter face to face with a wild rhino. That was no mean achievement for that moment. However, my guests were laughing at me because just slightly before I had bragged that I was the greatest warrior who would protect them from anything that would attack them. And here I am running away from a rhino. I mean, who would wait for such an animal to come for you? Anyway, as I said before, rhinos are found in mostly in these areas of Africa. As you can see, the red that is in Kenya, there, Uganda, and southern Africa. They do have an increase at the moment. We know that rhinos are increasing. That moment, I only saw one, and she was only one. She had not seen another rhino anywhere. Even though I turned out to be the wrong rhino for her. Later, she gave birth, and that's why you saw that little baby there. And everybody has been very excited that the rhino has, that now the rhino numbers have been increasing. The black rhinos population at least has gone up to 5,500, and the white rhino up to has reached about 18,000 now in Africa. Coming back, we come back now all the way to the Detroit Zoo to meet two great friends, wonderful rhinos, healthy looking. This is Tamba and Jasili. So these two rhinos have been friends. They came to the zoo in 2005. They have continued to grow and being very healthy, and with our very able vet staff, including our wonderful zookeepers, they have been thriving quite well at the zoo, and they are very happy. Now, most of the day, you'll find both Tamba and Jasili hanging around, walking up and down, wallowing in the mud. Now, if you see them wallowing in the mud, they are not really getting dirty. Mud to a rhino is medicinal. It gives them, it's like a suntan lotion to them is a skin lotion, and they're just they're there cooling off or healing their skin or just making it look better. So as I said again, there's a difference between the two. The black rhino that you see right here, notice the lip is prehensile. It is sharp because they are browsers. But the black rhino, as you can see, it is the lip, the mouth is square. So it has a square kind of mouth. They are grazers. And because they are grazers, you'll find them in open grassland. Black rhinos, they are browsers, and you'll see them mostly in the bushes. Not very deep in the forest, but mostly in just medium bushes. They are technically, and that's why you'll see them being the target of most of their by the poachers. Now, looking at the inside where they live, I want to show you the inside of the of our rhinos. It is totally different from the rhinos that we see outside of that you see from the other side outside. This is the inside, and I would encourage anyone who visits the zoo to visit the inside of our rhino house. It's the rhino house inside. It's a beautiful habitat. They are happy in there. We have kept their big drums, toys, anything, even anything to scratch. It is just wonderful to be there, but it's totally different from what you see from the outside. From what you see from the outside is more like a real out in the wild. Look at that beautiful view of the rhino's house, and of course Tamba and Jasili. The outside is more modeled to look more like the natural habitat. Now the two names, Tamba and Jasili, Tamba means to kind of like you are climbing slowly. You know, you are just crawling in a very forceful way. So that's Tamba. Jasiri means strong, not strong, but very, but courageous. And so they, Jasili and Tamba, they complement each other as it comes to the names. They really eat quite well. In one day, they would eat as much as 50 pounds of food, mostly in the form of hay. They would eat hay, but they would also supplement with other kind of food. This is the food that mostly. Let's look at it. One bale of hay weighs 50. So every day, each of them would eat as much as one whole bale, and this will be supplemented or enhanced with other kind of pellets in the course of the day or before they go to sleep. Probably that would be a little snack for them. They would also get some fresh browsing, like real fresh from outside, from the trees, vegetation, just to supplement the diet. The two are quite big, as I said. They would weigh up to, Tamba is just about 5,000, and the Jasili is just slightly less than 5,000. So they're about probably 4,900, around that. And so they really are quite healthy and big. Now, when it comes to going to the bathroom, 150 pounds both. That is what they would, sometimes they would, the keeper would make sure it's out of the way or clean it. They weigh it, and it's quite something. I mean, 150 is no joke. So the I would say our rhinos, General Jasili and Tamba, have been very, very happy being out there, being taken care of by wonderful staff, and they're just there. Whenever you come in, they bred in. By the way, they bred in. I've seen when people come in and they're asking, "Where are the rhinos? Where are the rhinos?" They just, because they bred in with the logs and with the buildings that they are in. But I would encourage you, when things get better, when no social distance, when it's all gone, you come back and we'll be able to walk around that area of the rhinos. Remember, you have seen the rhino that close. You're very lucky, because for me, I had to look for the first rhino out in the wild, and I had to run away from one of them, who was a black rhino. And in the zoo, you are very lucky. The Detroit Zoo has the inner and the outer viewing areas where you are able to see them all year round. So come in, and when things improve, and you will be able to see these rhinos. If you will be lucky, I am also out there. At times of the day, you can always see me, and we'll be talking more about them. So in the meantime, I want to wish you a wonderful time, and tomorrow at 11, please join Claire Lanoy, the Curator of Education at the Detroit Zoological Society, as she engages with you and giving you some clues. I don't want to preempt what she's gonna say, but she has great things for you. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and join me again. I'll still be coming live every week. So join me, and we'll be talking about my own experiences out in the wild and talking about the animals here at the Detroit Zoological Society. Thank you, and as always, kwaheri in Swahili means goodbye.